There I was, 18 years old, barefoot, still in my pajamas, running through the alley. I get to Wilshire Boulevard, and I see a bus, and I think, thank God, someone can help me. As I step on the bus, before I can even get the words out of my mouth, I need help, I feel this tug in the back of my head. My hair is being pulled, and the rest of my body with it. Within seconds, I was on the ground, and my mother was beating me on the sidewalk of Wilshire Boulevard. Perfect strangers came to my rescue that day. This was not the first time that my mother had beaten me. The woman that I was hoping would take care of me and love me unconditionally. But it was my last. The last time she put her hands on me, because I fought back. There are people possibly in this room who have gone through something similar. I know that I've seen children who are going through something similar. That day, I decided I wasn't going to just break the generational trauma. I was going to stop it. Let me take you back to when I was 9 years old. I come from a very traditional Indian family. People always ask me, what kind of Indian are you? Well, convenience store, not casino. And yes, I owned a 7-Eleven. So put that right into the mix. And I remember as a 9-year-old girl, we lived in 2 houses. There were 4 families, 2 in one, 2 in the other, 6 kids in one, 5 in the other. I was the eldest of 11 children. And I remember one day we were all playing in the backyard. My mom and my aunt were on the side. They were watching all of us. And one of the kids had hit another one. One of my cousins hit another cousin. I was like, oh my God, that's not allowed. That's not okay. So I get up on the block wall because I'm in charge. I'm the eldest. I'm sure none of you have ever experienced that in this room, being entrepreneurs, right? Never had to be in charge. I get up on this block wall and I am the judge, the jury, and the executioner, and I am going to hold court. And so I do. And the guilty party gets punished, and I come down from this wall and super proud of myself. I walk over to my mom and my aunt, like thinking they're gonna be like, thanks for taking care of that. Instead, my aunt says to me, she looks me dead in the face, and she says, in our culture, women are meant to be seen and not heard. Wait, what? I was crushed. Because here I was about to flourish as a 9-year-old, but I was told that I wasn't allowed to be heard, that I should silence my voice. And I can guarantee that there is one of you in this room that have had to do the same thing for a really long time until you decided enough. Now let me take you to a time when I was 21. In my culture, a 21-year-old woman has to be married. I mean, my mother had me at the age of 21. Her brain was barely developed and she had a child. And so I was expected to get married. And so part of that, my grandfather from India put me on a website, and there were several resumes that came about. Mind you, this was the old version of Bumble, Raya, name a few more. Coffee Meets Bagel. Come on, you guys. There's got to be more out there. I'm trying to figure out who's single in the room. No? Okay. So, so I went through this binder of men, essentially, trying to figure out who I was going to get married to at the age of 21. Nobody I'd ever met before in my life. My parents got married that way. My aunt and uncles got married that way. They didn't know who they were marrying until they actually looked at each other in a mirror on the, essentially what we would call the temple, the steps where they got married. They didn't know who each other was. And then they were expected to have a family and grow up and whatnot. Not me. Mind you, today as I'm going through the dating world, I will tell you that I have to ask people, like, are you single? Are you single in a situationship single? Are you single? Like, what kind of single are you? I don't have to worry about it in that binder. I miss that binder. So as I go through, these were 3 major memories and experiences in my life that I just thought, well, I didn't want to live that way. I wanted to be someone different. I wanted to be seen and I wanted to be heard. I wanted to marry for love. I tried that. I'm going to do the other thing next time. I wasn't going to, quiet down my voice. I didn't want to be punished by someone who was supposed to love me. And now I have 2 children. I have a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, and everything I do is for those boys. I am so proud of who they are and what they've done in their life. And I will say, and thank you to the gentleman who spoke earlier, because you're right, there was gratitude in some of these experiences that I had, because had I not had them, I would not be standing here today. I would not be in this room today if it wasn't for those experiences. And so about 4 years ago, I went in search of trying to figure out how to break and stop the trauma and the generational trauma for my family, for my children. And I will point out, I've never touched my kids, so any of you who are thinking that, they're safe. So in this 4 days that I went through, it was 4 days of torture to find my power. 4 days of torture to find my power. And they gave me a sandbag. I remember as I was standing in front of my coach, he said, I want you to fill up the sandbag. You got 60 seconds to do it. And I thought, no problem, I got this. So I get down and, I shovel in the sand in this bag and it's full, right? So I stand it up, I put it in front of me and I stand right there and I'm like, done, coach. I got it, it's full. He's like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I'm sure. 100%? And I said, yep, 100%. He comes over and he shakes the bag. Come on, are you serious? What happens when you shake a bag of sand? It settles. All the sand settles. He's like, is that 100%? And I was like, no. But it was. And he goes, try again. Takes the sand out, dumps it out, gives me 60 seconds. I go in, I do it again. I fill up the sandbag and it's full, right? And this time I put a little bit more because I know what's going to happen. What was that gentleman, what did Baba talk about yesterday? You perform, right? You get feedback and then you adjust. You make revisions. And so I added a little bit more sand. And then he comes up, and I'm like, done, coach. And he's like, cool. Shake it up, and it settles again. And now this time it is still a little bit lower, but not as low as it used to be. Again, not 100%. He dumps it out, and he was like, how about we try this again? And this time you think about it. You get 30 seconds. And I thought, holy crap, 30 seconds, no way. So I got this, I can do it, right? So I get down, I put the sand in the bag, and this time I take more and more and more and more and more, and I keep going. And I realize that bag had to be heaping with sand in order for it to be exactly what 100% looked like. And so it occurred to me that day that everything I do, whether it's relationships with my family, relationships with my kids, relationships with my coworkers, the way that I run my business, everything had to be this heaping sand in this sandbag. And so I went to work. And since June of 2021, every single day, I tell myself all of the stories that I used to have about me. And I'm sure, and I've heard it as we've gotten through these EO talks, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve to be loved. I'm not pretty enough, except for, Jeff and Daniel, who are beautiful. And then I don't deserve to be loved. I don't deserve the good things in life. All of those things, all those stories, I started rewriting them. And every day I speak them, I write them, I read them, I hear them. Every day I tell myself, I am an amazing, loving, incredible mother who always makes time for my children, consistently shows them love and provides them with a safe, judgment-free environment to express who they are and how they feel. I leave a legacy through my children by teaching them and showing them by example how to love while making significant differences in the lives of others in our community. I deserve to be loved. I am good enough. I am beautiful enough. I'm a beautiful, sexy, strong, fit, and healthy bombshell who fuels my body with healthy foods. And people from all over the world come to hear me speak. So every day I say those things, I hear them, I see them, I speak them. And every day I fill up that sandbag. I no longer limit my life into this bag. It's a heaping scoop of sand that's on top because I am limitless. Thank you.